Hello, my friends. I am B, and this is B's Intuition. And as you can see by the beautiful background, we are back at this particular outside spot, which is great because it is the best view for you guys. I'm very proud of, well, I was going to say I'm very proud of my content when it's shot like this, but that doesn't really say anything about my content. That just is the aesthetic. I don't know. Anyways, I thought it'd be really fun to do something a little interesting for a reading. I want to see what is your magical effect on others. Like, how do people respond to you and your magical self? Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, let's start. I can't talk today or form thoughts apparently, so please bear with me. But let's just dive right into it, shall we? Please and thank you, Spirit. How do people respond to the collective's magic? How do they respond to the collective's magic? Please and thank you, Spirit. What kind of magical effect does the collective have on others? Oh, that's a good one. What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you, Spirit. I'm so glad too that yeah, I'll have a little bit more daylight. So with this changing of the seasons and all, so that's good. Please and thank you, Spirit. What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you. Ooh, okay, that's a bit much. Do I want to take it? That is a lot, though. I just worry, like, when there's a lot that come out. For one, I worry that maybe it's not the correct message, but also I worry about, because I'd like to deep dive into every little card, I'm just worried about it taking a million years. So I'm going to keep shuffling. We already have one that popped out, but I'm going to see. Ooh, okay, that one wanted to come out. What else, please and thank you, Spirit? What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, we got 3 cards. I think that is perfect. Because you know me, I love to yap. If I'm allowed to yap, you know I'm yapping. Okay. So let's see what came out. We have the 6 of Swords, the 3 of Wands, the 8. This isn't the 8 of Wands. I know that. This is the 7 of Wands. Don't you love it when your mouth just starts to speak nonsense and your brain's like, what are you saying, bro? Anyways, bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords. Honestly, looks really positive. I think you have a really beautiful effect on others, just at first glance. But let's dive into the clarification, shall we? Starting with that 6 of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you, Spirit. Magical effect. What does the what magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Well, damn. Well, damn. Okay. Well, damn. Okay. Anyways, let's show you what came out. We have the 2 of Swords, the Page of Cups, the King of Swords, 2 of Cups, 10 of Wands, Queen of Wands, bottom of the deck, the Star card. Baby, this looks good. So interesting. So I see that 2 of Swords and Page of Cups as being kind of part of the same message because they kind of came out on their own together, I think. And it's giving me this impression because, like, the 2 of Swords. So that's usually somebody that can't make up their mind about something. Yeah, or they're like very confused. They don't know exactly, oh, maybe they don't know exactly what to do around you. They could start to overthink everything that they do. And for some reason, that almost feels like because they're overthinking it, they may act in ways that they don't normally act. Interesting. You kind of probably have a sense of presence about you that is probably very respectable. It commands, yeah, commands respect. It feels very much like a good amount of people probably maybe put you on a pedestal to some extent. And maybe that's why they get so caught up in their mind. Could be something about your lifestyle or maybe your physical appearance. Interesting. Maybe your personality. But I was also getting, because the Two of Swords was followed by the Page of Cups, I almost feel like there's this sense of people aren't quite sure how to feel about you. It's almost like people don't know if it's like they don't know what they think about you and they don't know what they feel about you. That's such a strange energy. It's like, and it's even more strange because I feel like this is probably multiple people in your life that I'm getting this sense of like people don't know if they like you as a friend or a soulmate or if they want to hate on you, if they want to love you. I feel like there's a lot of people probably in your energy that kind of are maybe actively still trying to make up their mind about you. Interesting. And this may just be on first impression as well. Doesn't necessarily have to be that these people stay in this energy forever. But it feels like when they first meet you, it's like people get anxious and people are like, yeah, there's something about you because it's almost like people are like, is this my soulmate? Like, and the fact that it's the page too, it's like people that may not even know you that well. They're just like, oh, damn, could this be my soulmate here? Especially if they've already started down one path and then you come along. It confuses them because it's like, okay, do I need to recalculate my path that I thought was the way to go? But maybe I need to include this person because they make me feel something very intense and I want them to be a part of my life. That could also be a thing here. Like somebody's already on this path with very specific things in mind, and then you come into the equation and it's like, I kind of have to recalculate now. You may even have people that are surprised with how quickly they form feelings to you. People get very attached to you very easily, like even like right after their first interaction with you, maybe. And because it is the Six of Swords, it's interesting because I would feel that maybe people would have to know your backstory with that Six of Swords to some extent because that's all about kind of improving your life or taking the action to improve your life. Maybe that is simply how people see you, is that, well, I guess if they see like the final product, so to speak, you know, like when you've worked through things internally, externally, you have certain things in place. Um, Maybe people just expect that you improved your own life, or they suspect that, or that's the energy that you give off. Maybe you encourage other people to do this. I feel like that's definitely a message here. But you could also just simply lead by example. But then again, the Six of Swords. So the swords can deal with communication. Maybe you talk about your journey. It almost like it makes you more attractive, even if you are already attractive in these people's eyes. The stuff you've been through and bounced back from, I want to highlight that part. Bounced back from. That seems significant. because I almost get this sensation of people like kind of looking at your story and being like, damn, I don't know how they survived that. I wouldn't have been able to survive that. So people really admire the things that you've gone through, but more importantly, how you bounced back. Bounced back with a fury is what I'm getting. Wow. I think a lot of people really admire you. You may also have people that are maybe a little bit unhealthily attached to you emotionally, potentially. And I think it's just because of like your presence, who you are as a person. People are just like, is this my soulmate? Huh, interesting. That is really, oops. Oh, gee whiz. You're not supposed to pop off like that. Sorry, you gotta. This silly. It's so worn out. I need to literally get a new one, but I'm so attached to it. But like, look at the frame on the sleeves. I don't know. It's just a simple like Hanes sweatshirt. It's not even special, but like, it's special to me. Okay. Well, gee whiz. Let's see. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Oh, oh, oh. I think I got it to zip. Hallelujah. Okay, I might actually have to put up my hood as well because I'm starting to get a little chilly. Although the sun isn't technically set or setting. Well, I mean, it is technically probably starting to set, but it's not quite beyond the horizon at the moment, but it probably will be, even if it's not fully set. And I always forget to take that in consideration. Anywho, let's go on to the rest. So the King of Swords, Two of Cups, Ten of Wands, and Queen of Wands. That came out together, and I feel like that came out together for a reason. You have a way of speaking to even the coldest person. You touch them on an emotional level. These are people that may even pretend that they don't have feelings. They may even be. Sometimes I do get a little bit of toxic masculinity with the King of Swords. That sense of like, feelings. You're not supposed to feel feelings. You're not supposed to admit that you have feelings. You're not supposed to express your feelings. All of that being raised within toxic masculinity when emotions are simply just being human, like it's just a part of being human. But like people that I get like this feeling that people's whole reputation is being unloving, serious, strict, stern, but that's followed by the Two of Cups. So you break down these people's walls that are like everybody else around this person couldn't break down their walls, but you did. This could be a specific person or just people in general. This could be a pattern. I do feel like there is a message behind this that could definitely be a person specifically who is feeling the vibes that you're putting down. They're feeling feelings with you. They're hoping that you return the same energy, or they may, maybe they know that you feel the same way about them. And then the Ten of Wands to Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, I think that is definitely how this person sees you. But probably more likely it's kind of how everyone sees you, or most people, I would say. Like at a first glance, you give off this very confident energy. You have a certain amount of charisma to you. You're very charming. You know how to like work a room. You know how to like have a conversation. There's something very light about your energy too. You could have a bright aura. I'm getting like yellows, oranges, maybe even pink. Beautiful. So people may even see you as sort of like sunshine on a cloudy day. Oh, that's cute. But with the Ten of Wands and then the Queen of Wands, especially that following that Two of Cups and King of Swords, for a side message, I think that this King of Swords is wanting to express to you this Two of Cups that they're feeling with you. But the Ten of Wands could indicate maybe this is going to take some work. Maybe this person is heavily burdened at this time, or they just have a lot on their plate. But it also feels like this is somebody trying to be conscientious. Conscience. Some days my mouth cannot form the words, but you know what I'm trying to say. Conscientious. You know what I'm trying to say. Um, they want to be conscious of your reality. It feels like this is not somebody that wants to be selfish. Ten of Wands even gives me like somebody that is willing to put in all of that hard work that is necessary to establish a relationship. So even if they are like blown away by you and they think they're in love with you and all of that, it still seems like they're not being, their head is not like in the clouds fantasizing and that's all it's ever going to be. No, there is somebody here that is like, this is what I have to say, which is probably I have feelings for you. But also, I'm going to back that up. I'm not going to just talk the talk, I'm going to walk the walk. Because that 10 of Wands, it feels like I'm willing to, honestly, this feels almost like this person's willing to do anything, probably within reason. And please don't take advantage of this poor soul if they are actually kind of like that. Try not to abuse that power. But I think this is somebody that is like, it feels like they are solely invested in you. Like there is nobody else that they see. And they also, there's a sense of you really deserving this kind of effort and energy. Also, oh, well, I think I'm getting a backstory as to this person that's quite serious, the King of Swords here, and quite guarded. I don't know how you broke this person's walls down, but you did. Maybe it's simply just by being you. But it feels like maybe both of you have been hurt in love. They may know this about you, and they may know this about themselves, and they're thinking that a connection between the two of you would be incredibly healing. You may have a lot on your plate as well. Or maybe there's some sort of sense of a blockage. But it almost feels like with hard work, you can overcome this blockage or obstacle, whatever this is, that may be in the way of this being a very beautiful connection. But maybe this obstacle, maybe it could be cleared up with conversation. The King of Swords is a very good communicator. So they probably want to have a conversation with you. So that's a side note here. But in general, people probably really want to do things for you. Or maybe this is how people perceive you. Or maybe how they perceive people that are around you. It almost feels like people are like always trying to impress you. People are always trying to like prove their worth to you or show you that they are strong or show you that they are capable of something, that they're hardworking potentially. But you also could be like putting all of your energy and focus into something in particular. Could have something to do with your path. Maybe there's even like a milestone that you're wishing to reach before opening up to this person romantically or before building something between the two of you. On the bright side, with the 10 of Wands, I feel like that could be indicating that you're very close to that goal, whatever that goal may be for you. But it's almost like maybe this is a not necessarily a burdensome goal, because it feels like it would be something that's very fulfilling for you, but it may take a lot of your energy, your attention, may require a lot of hard work right now. But that also could apply to both of you. You're both showing up as king and queen here, so I see that as being very equally powerful and probably equally ambitious, equally hardworking. Yeah. But yeah, people really try to impress you because they probably develop feelings for you really quickly. Oh, and that Two of Cups kind of makes sense because maybe people kind of hope that you feel the same way about them, but they don't know. And but it all also, I could see this kind of playing out in a way where it's almost like, because you are so sweet and lovely and you have this bright aura about you, it's like maybe you kind of, maybe when you're just being friendly, people still get feelings for you. They get confused because maybe they kind of interpret your charisma, your ability to have conversations, your attention. Because the Queen of Wands, I don't see as a stingy person when it comes to attention. I feel like the Queen of Wands is like open to everyone. Probably until they give them the, probably until the Queen of Wands is, shown something that's like disturbing or whatever. Or yeah, they may come to a point where it's like, okay, that's enough of that. But overall, you probably are very open to people. And that's kind of what makes you so attractive. And yeah, some people want to prove themselves to you. Why do I feel like this is almost like people may perform for you? I don't know exactly how to word that. Other than people may kind of put on a show when they're working in front of you. They may try to like lift heavier stuff or something, or they may try to be a little bit louder, a little bit more boisterous to impress you, to draw your attention towards them. And the funniest part is I don't think you even notice these people or notice those details. You may just kind of look over and be like, what is that person's problem? But the whole thing is like, it's about impressing you, right? And so it almost gives that energy too of like, maybe people, act in ways that they wouldn't normally act around you because they get nervous because they like you. So you may notice that people are kind of silly around you. With that Six of Swords as well, now I'm seeing it in the way of like, maybe people see you as an improvement to their life in one way or another, whether that be just friendship or relationship. I think a good amount of people probably would like it to be a relationship, but I think you're that type of person that you're just a joy to be around. So probably most people would not even be like, they would still want to be a part of your life even if you don't have feelings for them, is what I feel. Because you have a big energy about you, whether you realize this or not. And with a big energy like that, it's going to be noticeable when that big energy doesn't, when they leave the room. Suddenly this big energy is taking up the room and then they leave and it's almost like the light goes out. And maybe that's just an extreme, or rather how somebody's feeling around you is like, when you leave, you take the light with you. Interesting. But it definitely feels like if people are thinking about improving their life, they may think that you are the place to start. And to be honest, maybe that has something to do with your career. Maybe it's not specifically just romantically, because you may have really good advice. You may be very smart, or like it feels like lived experience. Yeah, you have like really good advice. You have really good knowledge that's useful to others. And it may be part of your work. People may really like the work you do, especially if it has something to do with receiving advice potentially, or getting some sort of direction, or maybe a sense of direction, because I'm also getting this feeling of like you being quite, focused on certain things that are important to you. And it feels like people may get encouraged to also work on things that are important to them. And maybe this is simply by being around you or watching you live your life. It feels like you're a really good example to others. And then there's that Star card. You have this healing presence that is just unlike anything that people have felt before. I also get a very heavenly sort of energy to you. So people may think that you're an earth angel or that you are like from outer space or something, like you are supernatural. So this kind of taps back into the theme of the reading, which is about the magical effect that you have on others. People think that you are magic. But it also feels like this sense of they see you maybe working on yourself and healing yourself. And maybe as a byproduct of that, you heal others. Or maybe you heal others through the work that you do. Maybe the work you put out there helps heal other people. Or that could be your intention too. Even if that's not quite where you're at right now, maybe that's something that you have goals for. To heal other people or to do something that helps other people. It does feel like there's this sense of a little bit intimidation almost of like some people may not want to approach you. Some people may not want to come into your life to ask for your attention. And that's because maybe they think that you have such a great purpose that they don't want to get in the way of that. This may sound really dramatic, but I'm even getting the message of like, those airplanes, those pesky little planes. Anyways, this may sound dramatic, but it feels like some people, after interacting with you, they're like, wow, that person's going to change the world. The collective is really going to change the world. Yeah. I'm also getting that there's this sense of interconnectedness that you show people, like how we're all connected, how all of our energies are connected somehow. That it's not about me versus them, it's about us facing the problem. If that makes any sense, there's like a unity that you create. Maybe that's also part of your purpose here. It's beautiful though. It really like kind of reminds people of like the bigger picture. And that's probably because you have that sort of big picture perspective of things. Helps people kind of it honestly helps people be a little bit more logical, rational, which is really surprising because it's a lot of spiritual energy. But also sometimes spiritual advice is just practical advice. And so maybe even people that aren't spiritual, they can use it in their life to some extent and get something out of it. Yeah. Let's see what's underneath that start card. 3 of Cups. Yeah, people really like being around you. They think that you're a fun time to be around. I'm getting that energy again of like, even if you're not interested in them romantically, people still want to be in like, well, be around you, be in your community, but definitely be in your friendship circle. Because it's just like you're a good time. You're a good time. Like whenever people interact with you, they have a good time. Whenever anybody hangs out with you, they have a good time. That's actually really sweet. I like that. Like even people from your past probably can't even deny that you were a fun time. Well, whether that be in a spicy way or not. But I'm even getting like friends from the past, that maybe things just kind of didn't match up, or eventually two of you just kind of went your separate ways or whatever. But they're even looking back on their memories with you and they're like, damn, that was so much fun. Maybe people even that you may think hate you or like may hold some grudges towards you. It's almost like they can't even deny that it's fun to be around you. Or at the very least, it lifts their spirit. So maybe that's a whole nother part too, is like you naturally sort of raise the vibration of the room by being in it. So people that are really struggling may kind of be drawn to you in that way too. Feels like you have a very sensitive soul, a very special spirit to you, and you have to protect that. Or you try your best to like protect that energy because it can be very easily drained from the wrong people. I feel like you know this though. You've learned this about yourself. I just want to see what's underneath that 3 of Cups. 8 of Cups. You are somebody that chooses yourself first and foremost. You've had to leave things behind, which is the theme with the 6 of Swords that we've been clarifying, but it's also the theme with the 8 of Cups. You are not afraid to leave things behind that no longer fulfill you, and that's an inspiration to other people. And there's like this inner knowing that you have that I feel like people are really inspired by, is like, and it could simply just be your intuition or that gut feeling that you experience when something isn't, aligned with you. Because it's almost like you kind of know where you want to go, or maybe a rough idea of what your path is and the things that are in alignment to that path. So if things don't really, yeah, like if things don't really match up with that, you're not afraid of being like, okay, bye, and going down a different path. But I feel like that's very inspiring to other people. I feel like there's a great sense of strength with you, but it's also a softness at the same time. Like you're strong, but you're soft. I mean, I'm kind of starting to think back to this Queen of Swords at the bottom of this deck. And that's kind of giving me the energy of like, yeah, you're very, very sweet, but you have your limits, you have your boundaries, you are responsible within that softness and sensitivity. You don't let people cross your boundaries. You don't mess around with the wrong types of people, and you have that clear knowledge or that clear knowing, this is for me or this isn't for me. You have a good way of like determining that very naturally. Okay, let's go on to the Three of Wands now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you, Spirit. The Three of Wands. Three of Wands. What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you. Okay. Okay, so the first cards that came out, we have the Page of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and then we have the Magician, the Seven of Wands. Interesting, we're about to clarify that next, the Seven of Wands. Knight of Cups, and then bottom of the deck, the Eight of Cups again. There is something very strong and powerful about your energy. I feel like I already touched on that, but like inner strength, like in abundance. Like there is something really impressive about your inner strength, I want to say. This is kind of a funny energy because it's giving me this sense of like people may think that they are kind of beneath you. You may be very mature, very grounded, and you just have such a calm presence about you. Even people that are older than you may feel more immature than you, or they may feel like they're less than you in some way. So this will either trigger people, this kind of energy that you have. I feel like it could either trigger people because they start to put you on a pedestal and put themselves down. There's also like a comparison thing. So maybe people of the same gender as you like compare themselves to you and they always feel like they are lacking in comparison to you. But then there's this other part of like people where it's like, yeah, they may feel like they are more immature than you, or they may feel like they aren't quite on your level yet, or they may feel like they are lacking in some regard, but they also can't help but dream of what could be between the two of you. So even people that feel like they have no chance with you, they're still very attracted to you. They can't help but kind of daydream about you, think of the potential between the two of you that could be possible. We are clarifying the Three of Wands. Sometimes that can be somebody that's like waiting for the right moment to do something. But on the other hand, it could just be that you are very future focused and maybe you're focusing on something that you're expecting to come in. You may be always looking towards the future, but in an optimistic way, which may be different for people. Because I feel like a lot of people, maybe it's simply just the people around you, but it feels like this sense of they may be a little bit more pessimistic with their plans of the future, whereas they feel like your plans are more optimistic potentially. But also, it feels like it works for you. It almost feels like you have figured out the formula, the secret recipe. People are very impressed by you. Um, I find it really funny, this combination of the Magician, Seven of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. Because this gives me the feeling of people are so desperate to be a part of your life or be likely your partner. People are so desperate to be in your life romantically that the Magician, so they're trying to manifest you. Two geese, that's cute. Um, Maybe that's something to do with this message. Maybe this is a message from somebody that sees you as their soulmate. Anyways, but I'm feeling this sense of somebody trying to manifest you, but also because there is that darker side of the Magician, it could also apply to people that try to manipulate situations in order for you to like them, or they manipulate certain things about themselves in order for you to like them. But the thing is, especially with that Queen of Swords energy at the bottom of the main deck, you are not the type of person to be easily manipulated, especially not at this point in your life. You've probably been manipulated in the past, but you're like, I learned my lesson. But it feels more lighthearted. I think overall, people aren't really trying to manipulate you like that so much as they want to manifest you into their life or manifest you to maybe come towards them. But also because you manifest, and that kind of was connecting to that message I was getting with the Three of Wands that we're clarifying, is like you're always future focused. You're thinking about the future, but in a very positive way. And it almost feels like this sense of like those things that you plan for yourself actually do come true. You do hit those milestones. And so it's like the proof is in the pudding here with you. And so I feel like simply by observing that, people could get really inspired and want to manifest things for themselves. And people may even follow your sort of blueprint here to, yeah, work on their own manifestations. That's a beautiful message, though. But again, they see you as magical, very, very magical, and tapped into spirit like crazy. You probably have a really heightened sense of intuition, or you receive these messages quite clearly, potentially, from spirit. But then there's that Seven of Wands. So not only are people trying to manifest you into their lives, they're also willing to fight against like the competition, is what I feel. Or maybe just simply fight to impress you, to show you that they are willing to put in the action necessary, that they mean business. But also, people may kind of generally sort of strive for bigger things in life or strive for certain goals because it's almost like they want to show up in a way that shows you that they are kind of on your level. They get you. Yeah, it's like they want to show you that the two of you are very alike. And I say the two of you, but this could be multiple people in your past, present, or future. There could be somebody at the moment who is trying desperately to get your attention. And they may feel like there's a lot of things distracting you, or maybe this is people. They may think that there's a lot of competition for them to have to go through in order to get to you. Or maybe it's simply just their thoughts or the idea that maybe people will be opposing a romantic connection with you potentially. It pretty much feels like people are willing to do whatever it would take in order for them to express their emotions to you in hopes that something can be established here. But going back to the geese message, this could be describing one person in particular who is trying to manifest you. They're willing to put, in the effort and fight whoever they need to in order to impress you. Um, I don't know why, but that Seven of Wands keeps hitting me as like, this could be somebody, and this is no shade to this person because it seems like they're a lovely person, but they may think that they have a lot more competition for your attention than they actually do. And that's not that you don't have many admirers. I feel like that is true. But the thing about you is you're probably very clear with your mind of who is for you and who is not. So I think probably like 99% of the population probably doesn't impress you much. And so you don't care if there's a billion options. You're like, I only want one person. Or maybe you know the type of person that you want and you're simply not settling for anything else. But it feels like maybe this person's kind of like imagining and they're like, it's like this sense of like somebody imagining maybe the worst case scenario, like the two of you, every time you go outside, there's another person trying to get with you and this person has to fight them off. And they may think that like every time we go outside, somebody else is trying to hit on you or get with you or something. So I'm going to stand up and fight. But the thing is, even if you do have a lot of options, which I feel like could definitely be a thing considering your energy is bomb, you probably do have a lot of options. But if this person's the right person for you, you don't give a fuck about those other options out there. Because there's a sense to you that's like you have lived. And I'm not trying to say that you're old by any means, but like you have enough life experience at this point to know who you are, what you're looking for, and who is in alignment with that and who is not. I am also just now realizing we have the Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. We're only missing one more queen, and you're showing up as the Empress, baby. Honestly, that doesn't really surprise me much because this is a really phenomenal energy. I think a lot of people probably see you as the Empress, regardless of if you see yourself as that. And by saying that people see you as the Empress, I mean people probably see you as like their dream person, the person they would, they would thank God for you being a part of their life or being interested in them. But yeah, people probably see you as like the ideal partner, maybe even a dream person, like in my wildest dreams, this, and this, I would love to have in a person. And you just happen to have this, and this. Yeah, you have a fantastic energy. I feel like this sense of people being like wrapped around your finger. And I know that sounds kind of like narcissistic potentially, but I don't mean it in an egoic way. I don't think you're egotistical like that. I feel like you could definitely be. Not that you could be in terms of like you are, but rather if you wanted to, be that villain, you could. But the thing is, I think you're too genuine, too grounded, too in touch with like other people's emotions to, inflict pain upon them or treat them unfairly and stuff. And you probably are very down to earth in that way of like, you don't put yourself on a pedestal, and maybe it's mostly other people that do that. And maybe that's even something that frustrates you because you're from your perspective, you're just a human, right? You have your flaws, you have your days, you have, a lot of issues like the rest of us, No human is perfect, even if they come across as such, right? Because we are all working on ourselves. We all have our demons. We all have these things within us that still need work. But overall, like, people see that you would be like the ideal partner because you've done a lot of work on yourself and on your life. Because especially if they're seeing you as the Empress, they know that that took hard work and dedication. That did not just happen overnight for you. Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so we were kind of already touched on that you give off this energy of like, you know what you want and you know what you don't want. And if something is not what you want, you're going to leave it behind. Very simple. Because it's like you have a clear idea. You have a very clear mind. And maybe you don't personally feel this, but it's in terms of like your general direction where you want to go in life, or what you want to do for the world. There's something there. You may have very clear goals. You may have certain ideas of things you want to work towards, and it's very clear. So it's like, yeah, people that try to manipulate you, try to steer you off your path, that is not possible at this point because you are devoted, I want to say, not even just determined, but you're absolutely devoted to yourself, your path, maybe even your spiritual health, your physical health, your mental health, your all of those things. Like, you're very grounded. I feel like this sense, there's something so real to you and authentic. Like, I feel like there's this sense of, even if you are intimidating, people maybe even after one conversation with you start to think like, oh, there's my friend. Like, hey friend, we're best friends, right? And you're just like, we're friends? I thought we were acquaintances, but yeah, sure. You know? Yeah, it's just adorable. I feel like more than this is a lot of positivity too. Like, even though you have your haters, and I'm sure you do, you probably have plenty because you are bomb.com here and you are glowing and you're looking fantabulous. So you probably have your good amount of haters in the background, of course, but overall, most people are freaking blown away by you. It's like a shooting star, or like a butterfly that has very unique markings and colors that somebody is just like, yeah, I'm not going to see another one of those for the rest of my life, you know, kind of thing. Damn. Okay, let's see what's underneath that Eight of Cups. Oh, the Three of Cups again. I feel like this is also, people in your community, people in your friendship group cannot stop saying beautiful, wonderful things about you. Like, why do I get this sensation? Like, even if they wanted to talk smack about you, or even if they wanted to criticize you or gossip or whatever, they don't really, well, I think a good amount of them are just simply not motivated to go down that sort of path. But more than anything, it's like maybe they don't really have a lot to hate on. And I want to say, even your haters may think this, and maybe that's why they get so frustrated. Let's see what's underneath that. The Star card again, yes. You are this bright light in the world, and people just simply want to be around you. They love to be in your energy. I also get this sense of like, people protect you. But that also feels like your spiritual team also protects you, because it feels like the people around you, or the energies around you, they're like, do not mess with the collective or we're going to have a real problem here. You know, I feel like this almost like big brother energy, so to speak, when it comes to people that are for you. They go hard for you. You know what I mean? Like, they are not afraid to talk about all your wonderful qualities. They are not afraid to stand up for you if you're not around. Like, people go up to bat for you. They're not going to allow people to either talk crap or mess with you. But that also applies to you spiritually. So you're very heavily protected within your 3D and your 5D. I'm just curious, what's underneath that Star card? The Tower. You shake up people's lives. You turn people's whole perspectives of life on their head. And these could be people that have lived maybe 60 years or 80 years. Like, literally anybody of any age range is impressed by you, or they think they have an idea of the world, but you come in and it's a completely different perspective. They're like, what the hell? Life can be like that? And you're like, yes, it can. Okay, let's go on to the Seven of Wands. I'm starting to get a little chilly. Oh, the sun is going behind the clouds now. Okay, please and thank you, Spirit. With this Seven of Wands, what magical effect does the collective have on others with this Seven of Wands here? What is going on with this Seven of Wands? How does people... What magical effect does the collective have on others? Please and thank you, Spirit. I'm not so surprised with one of the cards that came out. Okay, so the cards that came out, we have the Six of Swords, which is the first card that we clarified in this reading. Oh, there's a whole chorus of geese in the background, if you can hear them. So you are not afraid of a fight, and I don't necessarily mean that physically, but maybe physically. I don't know. Maybe you have a reputation for that, but more than anything, it's like you just don't give up. You're relentless, is what I want to say, but in the best way possible, because I feel like you're going to go far with that sort of mindset. You're going to go far with that sort of energy. You are stubborn, but in the best way possible, I want to say. Because it's almost like when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to the things that spirit is guiding you towards, you are very clear. You're like truly a badass, I want to say. People probably think this about you all the time, especially the more they know about you or the more that they learn about you. They're just like, what the hell? I'm going to just say it. Some people may think you're even like superhuman. Like, what the hell? How do they keep bouncing back? Because there's something about you, you're not really afraid of change. I think you probably know it, yeah, like know to some extent that change is sort of inevitable in life. And most of the time it's really good, even if at the moment, in the present moment of, being, you know, being made aware of change needs to take place, that can be a very uncomfortable position to be in at first. But it's like, I feel like through your life experiences, you've gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, and you're kind of just like, that's the natural rhythm to the universe. Change is a part of life, so you don't really fear it, or at least you don't fear it as much as those around you fear it. Because, yeah, unfortunately, there are so many people that I can think of actually off the top of my head that are so afraid of change in their life that they really hold themselves back. They keep themselves from growing and gaining, because that's the thing about change is like it can lead to a lot of gains. It can lead to a lot of positive outcomes and whatnot. Oh, so the other cards that came out, we have the Ace of Swords, the Chariot, the Six of Cups, Five of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. Okay, so this is pretty funny because this actually takes me back to the Three of Wands, because on the Three of Wands we are clarifying and we received the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is what we are clarifying in this deck. So this is all interconnected for sure. I feel like there is someone in particular who wants to come towards you to express themselves to you. The Chariot, they are determined. They may even feel like you are very important to them, maybe even a part of their purpose, maybe a part of their path in life. They feel like there's a reason why you're in their life. They feel like maybe there's a pull that they feel to you, like they just naturally are pulled in towards you and they're like, I need to explore this. Then the Six of Cups following the Chariot could be somebody from the past that you have really good feelings for, but also good memories of. But that can also speak to soulmates, the Six of Cups, like that sense that you know this person, even if you don't. It's like you seem so familiar. Yeah, like even in a short amount of time, you can feel like somebody's like childhood best friend or something like that, or you remind them of that. And then also with the Six of Cups, there's this whole sense of like inner child healing. I feel like you make people feel more comfortable feeding their inner child, or they may even feel like their inner child is safe around you. The Five of Wands is so freaking funny because I was saying with this Seven of Wands that this is somebody that may overestimate. They may overestimate. I'm sorry. This person's just cracking me up. This person wants to be your hero so badly, which is honestly so precious. I really like this person's energy. There's something really youthful and pure about it too, because I feel like the 5 of Wands, they are just imagining like a crowd of people that they're gonna have to like fight, like one by one. Oh my god, it's reminding me of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Maybe. Oh. 6 of Cups to 5 of Wands. Maybe they think that you're exes. Maybe that's what maybe it's not even the current competition, but maybe they're worried about your exes. Or maybe you still having feelings for your exes. Maybe they worry about that. Because it's almost like there's a sense of like worrying about your exes coming back to you. But the thing about you is I feel like you are definitely somebody that's future focused. You're not looking at the past. You don't want any of those dusty crusties back there. You're on to the new. You're on to whatever is good for you. And that's probably not your past, right? Interesting. Okay, so now I'm seeing it from a different perspective. On one side of the coin, I think that this person thinks that you just have a whole crowd of admirers that they're going to have to fight in order to like prove themselves to you or impress you or make you choose them or influence you to choose them. And then on the other side, it's like, okay, this person may think that, and maybe it's simply, this could be somebody that has compared themselves to an ex potentially, to one of your exes. This does feel like somebody that probably has conversations with you or somebody that you may already be in communication with. But yeah, they may worry that like if you have lingering feelings for somebody from your past, and then if that person made themselves available to you, they're worried that you may choose your exes over them. But again, I don't see that really happening here. Also, the two of you may have a lot in common. There's something very ambitious about the both of you here. If this is referring to a specific person, you're going to see a lot of yourself in them. But in terms of the general theme of this reading, people love to talk to you. They also get very inspired by you. You sort of help people get more creative, come up with really cool ideas. They may like your brain a lot and maybe want to, yeah, like want to pick your brain, a little bit and kind of, what else do you know? What other ideas do you have, kind of thing. And then the Chariot, I feel like you really inspire and motivate people to move towards their goals, towards their purpose, towards their path in life. It's like you have this sort of call to action about you, where it's like you don't even have to be like, do the work. It's like people just naturally feel inspired to do the work. And maybe it's simply because you set a really good example. That's actually kind of sweet, because it's almost like a lot of people look up to you. And they're inspired and they're motivated and they're like, if the collective can do it, I can too. And maybe that's kind of the energy and message that you like to put out there, is like, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me, There is like this little, I'm not necessarily getting this as a toxic thing necessarily, but some people may feel inspired to go towards you and maybe show up in this sort of tough guy persona that may not be true to who they are actually. It feels kind of peacockish. Okay, so it almost feels like people may kind of feel inspired to show up in a way that may not be super true to who they actually are. And why do I feel like that kind of whether they realize it or not, that kind of sabotages them and their chance with you, or their chance to be in your life. Because I feel like, especially with that Queen of Swords we saw earlier, at the bottom of the deck there, I think that you, at the very least, you can sense something's off, or somebody is withholding information from you, and you may simply not trust those people, especially if somebody struggles with communication. It feels like, yeah, you kind of don't really care for that. I feel like you appreciate honesty and forthrightness, being forthright and honest, genuine. Yeah, the people that try to like put on a persona, put on a mask, or whatever around you, they don't get very far. And of course, just because somebody's wearing a mask around you, just because somebody's trying to show up in a way to impress you, it doesn't make them a manipulative person or a bad person. It may even simply stem from their own insecurities, or the idea that they just want to show up in a way that they think is going to impress you. Yeah. Again, I'm getting the message of some people may see you as their soulmate as well, which kind of goes with that Six of Cups as well. But overall, that Six of Cups feels like, again, people may even just have one conversation with you and they already feel like a best friend, or you already feel like a best friend to them. People really trust you. Oh, yeah, that is so. That just like hit me, not in like a bad sensation at all, but just like a feeling in my body, kind of trying to emphasize that you make people feel safe. And I feel like a lot of these people may not be used to being around somebody that makes them feel safe, unfortunately. So it really makes you stand out. You are a safe space to many. You may also be very protective of children. You may be maybe an advocate for children's rights and stuff, maybe foster care system or something like that. Um, you may really care about kids and the future generations a lot. Yeah, like either you have kids or you want kids, or maybe it's simply just like, oh, you may also see through to people's inner child, and that may be part of why they feel so comfortable and safe around you. um, and they feel like they can open up to you, is like this sense of like, you look at their inner child first and foremost, and you show people how that version of themselves is lovable. That's really cute, very sweet. Also, you're very generous and giving, and I feel like that's something that people remember about you. So in terms of like the overall theme of this reading, um, you may also, yeah, you may just have a lot of people around you trying to fight each other for your attention, even if that's not necessary. But again, it could just simply be people's perspective of you or of your life, where it's just like, this person's so fantastic, like there's no way this person doesn't have options. There's no way there's not like a whole line waiting outside this person's door, the collective's door, because they admire you so much. It's like, if I admire the collective this much, everybody else is too. So at the very least, it may motivate other people. Yeah, it may motivate certain people to act towards you in terms of expressing themselves, but it may also I don't know, intimidate people potentially. Because I want to say people kind of psych themselves out when they come to you, because I feel a sense of like, people really get in their head about the other competition, and it's like it feels like imagined competition. Because the thing about you is like, if you like somebody, you like them. And maybe you like stick to that. Like maybe even your crushes last a long time. And so you're just like, yeah, like I don't really care if I have a bunch of options. And maybe that's just something that people don't really assume about you. And it makes sense too, I guess, with the society that we live in and the culture and all of that. There is a certain sense of, um, that it's very much temporary hookup culture, short term dating are the vibes to dating these days, I would say. So maybe that's kind of what people assume about you, but they may not know that maybe that's just not your lifestyle. Maybe you choose to be a hermit in a cave. I don't know. I'm getting specifically a hermit in a cave, but you like to be by yourself. You enjoy your own energy, your own presence, and you probably have to charge your social battery all the time too. Um, so you're just like, no, I'm not really impressed by those people. I don't really see them as being options because I don't want them. That could literally be what you say to people. Okay. Then we have the judgment card at the bottom of this deck. So with that, I do think, yeah, people like a lot of people that interact with you, they always want a second chance with you. You may notice this. You always have exes trying to get back with you. You always have exes trying to message you, trying to pull you back in. But it's almost like you're not receptive to that though. Because it's like there's like a certainness to your mind and your perspective. It's like you just know that nothing in the past, you pretty much don't want anything or anyone from your past because it's like you have already learned those lessons. But whew, it also gives a general feeling of just everybody wants you, and this could simply be somebody's perspective because they think so highly of you. They're like, well, geez, if I like them, everybody else likes them too. um, but also, people like to hear what you have to say. They really listen to you. They really care about what it is you have to say. So use that for the good of humanity, I would say, because you have a strong voice or you have a message behind you that is very important and people want to hear it. Let's see what's underneath that judgment card. Ace of Pentacles. So a lot of people want to start a new beginning with you. A lot of people want to like offer you new beginnings or investment opportunities. They may see you as a really good investment opportunity. But again, I'm getting something about you being on your path and you being dead set on those goals.
2 hours later.
And I'm back. Welcome back. To me, I guess. Anyways, my phone died because of the cold. Um, but I am back. I watched that last part that I recorded, watched it back. It is now much later, so I'm a little bit tired, so please excuse me in my appearance. um, but yeah. Um, with that judgment card that we were examining, it gives a sense of just like everybody wants you. Everybody's looking at you, everybody's hoping that you pick them. And this could be just one person's point of view. Maybe the person that's really interested in you and wants to come towards you, they may just think, how can I compete with the whole world? That's pretty much their mindset, I feel. But the thing is, and it's even funny because like I'm seeing you as this angel here, and you're not even looking down at all these people that are asking for you. You're just like looking straight ahead. So it's like, well, that's interesting because that almost gives me this sense of like this person could be like right in front of you. So if this person's like thinking in hypotheticals, again, it doesn't matter because you're just like focused on them. That is, if you return that person's feelings, of course. Let's see what's underneath that judgment card. Ace of Pentacles. A lot of people like want to offer you things, and this could maybe just be people maybe assuming. Like this is tangible stuff with the Ace of Pentacles here. Like you're always receiving gifts from maybe somebody's hypothetical point of view. Oh, also people want to help you on your path is what I'm getting with that Ace of Pentacles. There's something here about people seeing that you are here for a bigger purpose. And I feel like a lot of people really like you and they really like your purpose. And so I feel like you may have a surprising amount of people that are like truly wanting to help you, wishing to show up for you, to support you on your way. It feels like I'm getting the phrase, you have my blessing. That's interesting. You have my blessing. That's interesting. I wonder who would be saying that. I think Spirit definitely is saying that, but I think you probably already know that. The way it came across, you have my blessing, that almost sounds like a parent. Oh, or maybe for some reason I'm getting maybe grandparent. Could be even somebody that's passed over. You have my blessing. That's really cute. And again, that kind of goes back to that idea of like you being really protected, not only physically, but in the spiritual realm, for sure. You got a lot of people on your side here. They all believe in you. That's very sweet. Let's see what's underneath that Ace of Pentacles, just out of curiosity. Eight of Swords. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably overthink the things that they're going to say. They may even sabotage themselves or keep themselves stuck. And this, again, kind of goes back to this feeling of like if somebody truly likes you, but they think that you wouldn't like them, or that, yeah, it's like people that actually may have a chance with you, they may sabotage their chance with you because they believe something that's not true. Like it's like yeah, like people that you may genuinely be into, they may psych themselves out so much overthinking everything and reading into everything and putting you on a pedestal, looking up to you, lowering themselves in comparison. They self-sabotage through doing that stuff. And so if they had just shown up as their authentic selves and were vulnerable and open to you, like there could have been some really beautiful relationships potentially, but these people were not prepared. The people from your past, definitely not. And maybe this self-sabotaging happened within the relationship as well. I'm getting sort of like an ex energy. Like midway through, they just like switched up all of a sudden, sabotaged everything. And it may have been due, sadly, it was directly related to their thoughts, not even what was happening. So I think you definitely need somebody that's self-aware enough to be like, wait a second, I think I'm spiraling. Let me take a break from this and get myself out of my head. Yeah. Maybe you do that too. You may notice yourself starting to spiral, and you're building these walls around yourself, and you're like, wait a second. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to break free. I'm going to do something that gets me out of my head. I'm just curious what's underneath that Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords. Whoa, people are really overthinking you. Some people are straight up devastated. Probably because of the self-sabotage, though. Yeah. Yeah. The people that have self-sabotage, they know that they self-sabotage and they're going to cry themselves to sleep at night because they know that. They messed something really good up. I hate to say it because I have a good feeling, or have a feeling that a good amount of these people are probably exes that are in this sort of energy. And who knows what they did to you to kind of be on the outside looking in. But, oh, that's kind of sad. Like, that hurts me in the heart. It's like, oh my gosh, not me getting emotional from the perspectives of your exes. Who am I empathizing with these exes? Anyways, um, I'm getting like literally people waking up out of a sound sleep and they could have been dreaming about you. And then they wake up to realize that you left years ago and you never came back and you don't have any intentions of returning. Oh, like, do you feel that heaviness? Like, there is the pit of despair that these people feel. And this kind of just goes to emphasize how intense, how special your energy is. There are people that, oh, it breaks my heart. Like, I know that these are probably people that aren't the best quality, but damn. I feel like this may be slightly crooked. Watch me just like mess everything up. Maybe. I don't know. Sorry. I can like see the reflection. That's why I'm like, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Your exes are real heartbroken about you. They'll never forget you. They're never going to be able to forget you. And that maybe that also adds to the sorrow and the despair. Woof. Sad energy. Let me keep going. I want to try and find some lighter energy in here. Let's see what's underneath that Nine of Swords. Justice. The Justice card. I'm so sorry, but like that is funny. That's objectively funny. The Justice card. Spirit is funny. This is literally hitting me as like Spirit being like, well, don't get too sad now. Don't empathize with them too much because what happened is what was meant to happen. Oh. Yeah, yeah. It was justice to have these people removed from your life. You had to do it for you, but also through doing it for you, you may have unintentionally helped them with their own journeys. I think you probably are just one of those lessons that, people are always going to regret you or what could have been with you. But again, it's all meant to be. Maybe these exes don't see it that way, but Spirit sure does. And I trust Spirit. But also, you probably know this as well. Like, yeah, even if you have your moments of missing certain people from your past, it's like you understand that that chapter has closed. Maybe some of these people struggle to close that chapter because you meant a lot to them. You provided a lot of energy. Yeah. But again, everything happens for a reason, and these people are learning their lessons and hopefully becoming better people as a result of that. So, yeah. Anyways, let's go on to this bottom of the deck. We have that Queen of Swords, which I feel like that is such a beautiful, fitting energy for you within this reading, especially. Also, at the beginning of the reading, we had a King of Swords. So maybe there is somebody that's going to make a really good match for you here, or they think so. You may definitely connect intellectually. Maybe you're both curious about one another. Maybe you share ideas with one another. Collaborative, creative energy is what I get, if that's a connection between the two of you. But yeah, it very much feels like nothing gets by you. You see everything, even the things that people think they're hiding very well. You see, and I think that's probably why people are so intimidated by you, because you probably have intense eyes or an intense gaze, or like you just have that sort of energy and face, where it's just like, oh, I don't want to get on their bad side. Maybe some people have seen that bad side and they're like, I don't want to get on their bad side. Because it's like, you have a sword and you know how to use it. You're not afraid to use it either. You are not afraid of cutting people out of your life. And that's why people know that they have to come correct when it comes to you. I'm curious what's underneath. Let's see. The Strength card. That is literally perfect for you. Because like, hasn't that been a common theme throughout this whole reading? Is like, you are strong. You have gone through things that people can't even fathom. And you've bounced back from every single one of them. And when it comes to your goals and your purpose and your destiny, you are relentless. This is just divine energy. I almost feel like if you're spiritual, the divine helps give you this energy, or your spirituality helps, feed into that energy, helps you fuel you, especially your ancestors, your spirit guides, your spiritual team. You may find that they are very helpful, and maybe you ask them for strength when you need it, and they always come through, and you've always come through. You've always brought yourself out of the darkness, and that is something that really impresses people. Let's see what's underneath that strength card. Ooh. 10 of Swords. But that shows your backstory. A lot of devastation, pain and pain and pain. Oh, this feels rough, because this feels like you've been through painful circumstance after painful circumstance under. This feels exhausting. That's 10 of Swords here. And again, it just makes you even more incredible, because it's like, how do you come back from each and every one of those swords? That seems impossible to a lot of people. But yet, here you are. Damn. And you still show up in a way that is so open. Even though, like, with the Queen of Swords, doesn't always give the open energy. But the thing about the Queen of Swords is she's very just. She's balanced. She's reasonable. She's not going to be unreasonable and be like, you breathed around me the wrong way, you're cut off. No, it's very much like, I'll listen to what you have to say, but I'm going to say exactly what I think, and I'm going to say how I feel, whether or not you like that. And yeah, it's just such a sincerity, but you're still open to people. That's the thing, especially with this Strength card. I'm getting a little bit of a teddy bear vibe, not gonna lie. But it almost feels like you kind of have to get through the Queen of Swords, though, to get to that teddy bear side of you. But, with these past experiences, that's probably necessary. And you learn that the hard way, probably. Let's see what's underneath. Page of Pentacles. Honestly, that, with the 10 of Swords, even, that seems very powerful too. You have reinvented yourself over and over and over again. You've started anew every time. There is like this relentless optimism within you. And maybe you probably get annoyed at that relentless optimism, because it's like when you just want to feel sorry for yourself, when you just want to like be in that darkness for a minute, and then the back of your brain, it's like, but what if, well, maybe if, like, and it's just like, bro, shut up, I'm trying to wallow. I'm trying to wallow over here. um there is like this pluckiness and optimism, and I have a feeling that this is more so your inner child. But the thing about you is you've been working so hard on healing your inner child, listening to your inner child. I think you hear this inner child so much more strongly than maybe you used to. And it feels like this inner child is growing, becoming stronger as well. And maybe that adds to where you get that strength from. Like different parts of yourself that you probably empathize with. Because who knows what you've been through better than you, you know? Damn. Okay. Let's break up the oracle and see if it has anything to add to this reading. Please and thank you. I don't even know what that kind of accent was, but anything to add to this beautiful reading for the collective? Any advice, any general messages, whatever you think that they need to hear right now? Please and thank you, Spirit. Maybe guidance for the collective. What do you think they need to hear? Ooh. Okay, let's take that. One more shuffle. Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Well, okay. Let's see. So the first card that came out is Leaves, and this represents renewal, revival, and progress. You've made such great progress is what I want to say. And this is noticeable to, I want to say, everyone. It's almost like, yeah, like even if people don't know who you used to be or what your past looked like, you just give off an energy of like you're on your way is what I feel. But then the renewal, I was just talking with that page of Pentacles that you've reinvented yourself over and over and over again. Revival, I think that you've had to revive yourself in those darkness, in those darkest times, and you're here to tell the tale. And I feel like you're making some sort of significant progress here, and this feels like Spirit telling you this. You may be farther along than you realize. Okay, and then the other cards that came out, we have Pine Tree. This represents vitality, longevity, and perseverance. Ooh, I like that a lot because that's hitting me. The longevity part is really hitting me. And that feels like it goes very deep. It feels like because you've invested in yourself, you've done that internal work, you understand yourself, you understand your purpose, even if it's not like specific, an idea of your purpose. It feels, and you've been maybe making slow and steady investments on your path here. It feels like that longevity is talking about you are building something that is going to stand the test of time. Like, you could be creating something permanent. But by permanent, I mean like something that people can look back on even after you've passed. So maybe maybe you've created a business or empire or a book, maybe, or content, maybe on the internet. It's like you're leaving something for future generations. like, it almost feels like you may kind of understand that what you're building is going to last a while, but it's almost like you have no idea how long it's going to last. But that's a beautiful thing. And that's maybe a necessary part to this. Like, you're laying down the groundwork to something that future generations can look at and feel inspired by. Wow. The vitality, I think that you have a lot of vitality to your presence, your aura, and it's infectious, is what I want to feel, is what I want to say here, because it's like people may even kind of see you as like an espresso shot. Uh, like, you jolt these people awake. And that could be simply through like how you blow people's minds and switch their whole world perspectives. Um, but yeah, maybe you kind of awaken people. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And then the perseverance, I think that you do persevere. The energy that I've been picking up throughout this whole entire reading has been telling us that you persevere. And that perseverance, that's going to pay off for you. Also, it may be kind of associated with stubbornness, but it almost feels like perseverance is like when you're stubborn and it pays off. It's like, oh, it was all worth it in the end. Yay. I didn't waste my time. Yay, I didn't I wasn't just being hard-headed for nothing. Because maybe at times I feel like you're very self-aware, and so maybe at sometimes you're like, at some points you're like, okay, but am I being too stubborn? Well, like, you're like starting to overthink it, and you're starting to be like, well, maybe I should be more open-minded. Maybe I should be less stubborn. But I think when it comes to your goals, you're definitely doing the right stuff, and it's good to be stubborn in that regard, I think. And then we have the Basil card. This represents prosperity, luck, and love. Beautiful card there. Prosperity. You are definitely building prosperity for yourself. Luck. Some people may see you as a lucky charm. Love. I think you're definitely attracting love, because there's somebody that was popping up in this reading who is very much interested in you. And I feel like they're going to be pursuing you at some point. Yeah. Basil and ladybugs may be something of significance to you. I don't know why, but they're very much standing out to me. And honestly, all of these things, it just feels like you're attracting so much goodness into your life. And you deserve all of it. Then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Salt card. And this is beautiful too, because it represents it represents protection and banishing negativity. Earlier I said, and I guess I kind of said it throughout, you are heavily protected, not only by your spiritual team in the 5D, but also in the 3D. You have some 3D friends that are very much for you, support you, defend you. So if there's any sort of negative energy around you, it's not going to last for very long. And if you feel like things are scary, you don't want to take risks because, well, what if I fall? You're very heavily protected. So please trust in that. And do not be afraid, is what I want to say. All right, so that is the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And I hope that it resonated. Maybe you got something out of it. I hope so. And yeah, if it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a bee family together.
Yes, and if you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.